Towards the end of this morning's game between Western Force and the British and Irish Lions, commentator Will Greenwood made a fantastic point about the lack of jackal penalties during this game. They thought, and I think they're right, that there was not a single one in the entire game. And quite rightly, when was the last time you can ever remember that happening? And it just led me to think, is this the start of the death of the Jackaller? If it is, we don't know yet. Is this just an anomaly? Is it going to be a trend? We don't know. But if it is a trend, and if it is going to be a deliberate decision, then why? Why would referees be doing this? I mean, the number one thing probably is to clear the breakdown up, make it potentially safer in there, but also to speed up the game. And some of those things may be true, but there'll be unintended consequences to that. There's always a knock-on effect. So what could that lead to? It's probably going to lead to less people trying to compete, so fewer defensive players in rucks. That leads to more players on their feet and therefore less space. So you might end up just having this monotonous game of rugby where teams keep the ball and keep the ball and keep the ball. And we kind of saw that in the first half today before everybody got really, really tired and the space opened up. Western Force managed to keep the ball for long, long periods in this game. Is that desirable? Is that what we want to see? I'm not so sure. Going on, like the things we saw in today's game, it definitely seemed like the team in possession had all the rights. I think we regularly saw attacking ruckers going off their feet and being allowed to do so. Now that does happen in a lot of games, but I think we potentially saw it more today. And I think even more so, the attacking ruckers were given time to get that Jackaller off the ball. What we've seen more in recent seasons, that if a Jackaller gets in there, gets their hands on the ball first and makes an attempt to lift, that'll be a penalty given straight away, as much as anything for the safety of that Jackaling player themselves. But today we saw people in position to try and get the ball, to try and steal it, looked like they got it, but then got cleared off the ruck and the attacking team was allowed to continue onwards. And I'll say there's probably no clearer incident of this than the Pollock yellow card incident. And the yellow card was for lots of offences. That's debatable whether you want to say that. But from the TV angle, and I want to make this very clear, I'm not slagging off the referee at all. He was stood at a different angle and played what he saw. But from the TV angle, it did look like Pollock made the tackle, released very briefly, and then got back on the ball quite cleanly. But it was just an example of where the referee today was definitely favouring the attacking side in Jackaling situations. Now, I talked at the top about whether this is just a one-off or is it likely to be a trend. This is one game in isolation. Obviously, a lot of ruck incidents within one game, but it's still the same referee. I've got to say, it's unlikely that this is in isolation. It's unlikely that today's referee has just gone out there and decided that he's going to really limit the amount of effect that Jackallers can have on the game. Referees have big meetings. They have guidelines and guidance and debriefs before all the big events. And I've no doubt that all the referees that are going to referee this Lions tour have all been together in a room at some stage and they've all been given an edict that this is what we want to see. This is how we think the game will be improved if we focus on this thing during this series. So the next thing then is we need to watch very closely. The Reds game is coming up on Wednesday. And if we start to see trends, if we start to see Jackallers being minimised, being, almost put out of the game, that skill, that talent, which so many players have got so good at over the years now. And it used to just be the open side, but now it's everyone. You've got specialists in the second row like Ty Burn. You've got specialists out wide. I mean, Brian O'Driscoll was probably the first outside back to really make it a key part of his game. But now many, many players throughout the team can do it. So that's what I'm looking. What's going to happen against the Reds? Is it going to be a theme? Is this going to be a trend? And if it is, what does that mean for Lions selection? Because if Jackaling is your point of difference, then actually you may miss out to somebody who doesn't have that skill or is not as adept at it, but has, maybe stronger in other areas. And for this, if the number 6 jersey comes down to Ollie Chesham or Ty Burn, then if this trend continues, then it looks like Ollie Chesham will probably if he performs well, obviously, will probably go ahead of Tyburn in that respect, because jackaling is such a big part of Tyburn's game, although he's a complete all-rounder. I just think maybe we'll see selection decisions based on this stuff. And if more players are on their feet, like we spoke about earlier, then the Lions will probably need more power. They'll need more dent. They'll need to go through the middle a little bit more. And we did see the Lions play more directly today, but that could mean that somebody like Jack Conan might go ahead of somebody like Ben Earl, for example. Ben Earl's much more fleet of foot, in open field type of runner, and is an excellent carrier, but Conan will give you more hard carries for sure. I just think this is a fascinating subplot to this Lions series, and you've seen it right in this very first game. Great point by Will Greenwood in comms. Fantastic observation. All credit to him and the way him and Sam Warburton then discussed it as well. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Any other players that you think might miss out on selection based on this trend? Let's see how it plays out. Let me know in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up while you're down there if you don't mind. It helps other great rugby fans just like you find it. And you can subscribe there. You can watch that one next. And don't forget to get out and play.